Yeah, I have been doing lots of busking. That is correct.
And now people are probably going to wonder, what is busking? Can you let the listeners know what busking is?
So busking is also known as street performing. So that's when I have my guitar case open and I play my music, and people can tip me if they want. So usually I go in high traffic areas where there's lots of people.
All right, now you broke a world record for 26 hours straight of busking. Now, have you guys reached out to the Guinness World Book of Records on that, or is that ever going to be broken, you think?
We did reach out to Guinness World Records. I thought up the idea in August, and I wanted to complete the feat before I turned 21. And there was no way Guinness was going to be able to get back to us in time, because it takes them like months to get back to you. So, and if I wanted to make it like expedited, I would have to spend like $1,000 or something like that, and I don't have that money right now. Not yet, but so I decided I was just gonna break it. I just said, screw it, I'm just gonna break it. So I just went ahead and did it, and we broke the Guinness World Record. There's no one else who ever played it longer than 26 hours, but it did get verified on the World Records of Music LLC. So if you go to worldrecordsofmusic.com, you can find it verified there.
All right, now, Tanner, now, when you did that 26 hours straight, now, what time of the year was that? Was that this time of year when it's cold out, or was it, you were telling me, what, was it right around your birthday, or?
Yeah, it was right before I turned 21. I was about to turn 21, and I was just telling myself I wanted to do something cool before turning 21, because I guess just getting older, you're like, wow, I'm getting older. Like, time is passing. Like, time's feels, even though I'm only 21, it feels like time's running out. Like, but I guess that comes in waves, and I just decided I wanted to do something. I really wanted to seize the moment of being 20 still, so I decided to do something wild and crazy like that.
All right, now, how did you get involved with music? Now, I noticed that you were telling me that your dad and your family had guitars all around. Is that, and you like to play the guitar, right?
Yep. I was raised all around music. My dad plays drums and guitar, so I was exposed to that ever since I was a little kid. I remember playing my dad's drum set when I was like really young. So it was always in my life. So it was a seed that was planted at a very young age, and that seed blossomed.
Mm-hmm. Now, what keeps you motivated to keep on doing this stuff like this with the music?
It's wired as who I am. If I try to take music out of my life, I start going crazy. All I can think about is music, and all I can think about is creative things. So I figured might as well just embrace it instead of try to neglect my creative side.
Exactly. Now, what kind of venues now have you played at? Like, what's the farthest? I know you told me maybe Fargo you played at, and what's some other place that you played around the U.S. then?
Around the U.S., I've played at open mics down in Los Angeles. I did go on tour last year with the Jeffrey James Show. Shout out to Jeffrey James. He's from Madison, Wisconsin, and I played a number of shows with him on tour. I was his opening act, and we played in Northern California as well as Oregon. So I played a house show in Sacramento. I played at the Temple of Intention right next to Mount Shasta. We played at Oberon's in Ashland, Oregon. And we played a number of others too. At a church, the Unity Church in Redding, California. We went all along Northern California, and it was a pretty cool experience. Huge thank you to Jeffrey for taking me on my very first tour. It was life changing.
You know, when you're doing this stuff now, Tanner, now, how are you perceived when you started doing it? Was it kind of a scary when you go to these big cities? Was it kind of a little scary?
When I was 18, I decided to go to California all by myself with no contacts. I knew absolutely no one. My whole family was absolutely terrified. But for me, I was young and dumb, and maybe I saw him to a certain degree. But I felt really excited to go into the unknown and to meet new people, and I took that risk. That whole risk part was really exciting and exhilarating to me. And when I did that, I met a whole myriad of new people, and that's how I found out about music conferences such as Taxi Road Rally and Hawaii Songwriting Festival. So I was scared. I did have some fear, and I think a lot of the fear came from friends and family saying like, "Oh, well, you're young, and like you don't want to get yourself in trouble." I always knew I had common sense. I always knew that like I'm not gonna like go in a dark alley and start like going into a white van with a man saying that he's got candy inside. Like, I'm not that type of person to like go get into sketchy situations. Like, my gut can pick up on sketchy stuff. So I ended up surviving, and I ended up meeting a lot of people and a lot of musicians. I met musicians who do this full time, and I wanted them to be my mentors. And so I connected with all of them, and now they're lifelong friends and everything. I'm so glad I took the risk. And now I'm just reminding myself more that even when there is fear of oh, what if I fail? What if something scary happens? I just decide to have the fear there, but not listen to it, and listen to what my dreams are telling me to do.
Now, you've been living with your grandma, Marcia, now. Has she been teaching you some piano lessons, too?
Yep. So for the past month, I've been living with my grandma Marcia, and she's been giving me piano lessons for the past month. So at some point, I will be on stage playing piano and singing as well. I want to incorporate that in. And I did some songwriting as well while at my grandma's. And that is soon to be recorded and to be released to the public.
And you got some songs on a website too then, right?
I do. I have 4 songs on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, all of the different streaming platforms. And the latest one I released is called Falling in Love.
Okay. And then how people can listen to those on Spotify and stuff like that too? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
All right, now, big question for you. Do you think you're going to break any more records coming up now?
I'm not sure if I'm going to break any more records. I've had the thought of possibly getting it Guinness verified, where I would contact Guinness and wait the 3 months or however long it's going to take. But in the meantime, I haven't decided. I haven't pulled the trigger on that idea yet. But in the meantime, I would love to give a TED Talk. To help inspire others to break world records and do difficult, challenging, but exciting things to follow their dreams. So I'm speaking that into existence right now. I have no clue how I'm going to do it, but usually it starts with just an idea in my head. So I would love to do that. I would love to speak in front of a lot of people about my journey and everything. So that's kind of in my radar right now.
You know, people or kids that, well, for young adults like your age, probably don't know what the heck they're even going to do with their lives. You're going to college. You plan on going to college? Is that your plan? Or?
My parents and my grandparents, I know they hate me for saying this, but I do not plan on going to college. I love you guys, but I know my path is writing songs and meeting people and traveling. And I that does not mean that I dislike college. I do think it works for a lot of people. I think it works for doctors and lawyers and for people, nurses and everything. But for people who want to become entrepreneurs, I think it's a very, very bad idea, because you get yourself into a lot of debt. Unless you have some type of in where you can save a lot of money and you have a really good connection there at that college with someone who's going to teach you how to do exactly what you're doing. So for me, this is my path, but it's different for everyone. But we're very lucky to live in today's age where you can basically go whichever direction you want to.
Exactly. No, you did play at the local place here in Sisseton at Rosie's. How were you out there? Now, did people show up for that then? Or?
Yep. So I played at Rosalie's, the local restaurant here in Sisseton, every Friday for the past 3 weeks. And lots of family members came out. And luckily there were some families that tipped me and stuff too. I would play like an oldie, like Bob Dylan or Elvis, and then someone would get up and tip me and everything. Mm-hmm. I made sure to play much more country since I'm here in Sisseton, since there's a lot more country lovers here.
Hey, Jack, you're on the genre of country music station right now on Superstar Country B103. And now,
Yep.
now what are your plans next now? What to do with your career now with this guitar?
My plans next is to stay in the studio and to keep recording. I'm currently releasing a new song pretty soon. I don't have an official release date yet. I'm songwriting as much as I can. I plan on attending a lot of music festivals again up in 2020. I'm super stoked for 2020. It's going to be a great year. My goal is to go to Hawaii and California again, one more time, yet again, and connect with more people there. And I'd love to go someplace new this year. I'll speak that into existence. I think it'd be really cool to go to like Washington or like Florida. Those are like or even like Alaska or something. I'd love to go someplace I've never been before this year.
And now, your genre of music is a little bit different than country music. You got a country tune that you could probably play for us. But now, who as a musician did you look up to growing up then?
Growing up, I listened to a lot of Pink Floyd. My dad raised me on Pink Floyd and The Doors. So they were kind of always there. I really was into the guitar. I was really into that. Slash from Guns N' Roses really changed my life. I saw him in concert when I was like 12. I remember just up in, I think it was Fargo. There's a casino up there. What's the casino called up there? Is it Mystic Lake or?
No, I think it's
not Mystic Lake. That's Minnesota, I think.
It is. No,
Magic?
No, that's the Magic. That one's just past the border here on this.
It might be that one. I think it was that one. We saw Joan Jett there.
Okay.
And I was like 11 or something like that.
Okay.
And it was pretty amazing. So I was exposed to it at a very young age, and it's like my parents definitely exposed me to a lot of music, a lot of that exciting stuff at a young age. So it got me very, very passionate about that stuff.
Yep.
So I'm lucky to have had parents to give me a cool childhood like that.
Exactly. Now, if people want to reach out to you or anything like that, can people reach out to you? If they want
Yeah.
to your local venue or something like that, what's the number you can reach you at then?
Feel free to hit me up. You can find me at Tanner Peterson Music on Instagram. Tanner Peterson Music, basically on everything: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I've got TikTok now. Anything you can think of, YouTube. Feel free to contact me. Feel free to, and I've got a website, tannerpetersonmusic.com. And if you want me to be on your radio station or play at your venue, I would love to.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter what kind of venue you are, I will.
That sounds good. That's Tanner Peterson from St. Peter, Minnesota. Appreciate you coming on the B103 morning show. And see you down the road probably, huh?
Cool.